With the exciting introduction of the Equinox user interface ecosystem, Vantage is offering a vastly improved experience for the Vantage Infusion system owner, as well as an accelerated implementation for the system's integrator. Imagine providing a completely working user interface with control and feedback of lighting, music, comfort, video, security and surveillance, and more without writing a single design center task. But not every control point in the Infusion system is an Equinox device. Keypads typically will remain the workhorse of the system, placed at entrances to rooms and other strategic areas so that the user can quickly and simply manipulate lighting and other subsystems. Keypad buttons, including those found on the Equinox 4.0 keypad, still must have an associated task in order to provide function and LED feedback. Timed events are also based upon execution of tasks. Today we want to make sure that all Vantage dealers are aware of a powerful tool within Design Center, one that will, if understood and employed, provide you with a faster way to create those tasks that are necessary for successful system programming. Time savings in both the task creation and in the verification phase is a significant benefit of the library. To demonstrate use of library objects, let's examine a typical residential project. In Design Center, we have the project file built. In the area view, we have selected the dining room and specifically the keypad at the entrance to the dining room. As you can see, we have labeled the buttons on the keypad, thereby providing the design outline for this keypad, but as of yet, we have not created any programming. We will do so now using task objects previously created and stored in the library. To the right, in the object editor, we will select Library. Your Design Center software comes with some pre-created library objects, but in this example, we've created our own custom task objects, which we will use here. We will find what we're looking for under a folder of my own creation, which I named My Programming. As we open that folder, we are going to find what we need for 4 of our 5 buttons under the Basics folder, so we'll open that. Our first button is intended as a way to turn lights on in the room with a simple press release and as a way to raise the lighting level within the room with a press and hold. The library object that we want is the on, raise, on, hold. I'll simply select that object from the library, drag and drop it onto the first button, and complete the steps in the wizard. Notice that the wizard provides an object description. I could review this if I'm not sure about the applicability of the object and to remind myself of anything else I might need to do upon completion of the wizard. The name field allows me to change the object's name. It is not intended to specifically identify this instance of the task object. Assuming we've named the library object correctly, we typically will leave the name alone. The optional programming label field is intended to specifically identify this instance of the task object, as I will be using the same library task object repeatedly in this project for each room. Whatever I type in this field will prepend the name of the task as found in the name field. I'll simply type in the word dining into this field. We'll advance to the next step in the wizard by clicking on the next button. At the top, we're instructed to select which lights we want to turn on. There's a reminder that the lighting levels will initially be set to 100%, and we can customize those as we desire later. In this example, I will select all the lighting loads in the dining room. Clicking on Finish completes the wizard and creates the task object within the project file. As we examine the result of our adding an object from the library, we can see that there is now a task associated with this button named Dining On, Raise, on, Hold. If I repeat this in the living room, and type the word living room into the optional programming label field, it will create a similar but distinct task controlling the lights in the living room with a name that explains that function. Now let's repeat the process without so much explanation to show how quickly we can program the off lower button at the bottom of the keypad. Selecting the library object off lower on hold, we drag it to the last button, we type in dining, We select the lights in the dining room, we're done. Buttons 2 and 3 are two area-specific scenes, so let's use the scene object for both of these. I type in casual dining for the first. I select the loads, and I'm done, except that all the loads are set initially to 100%, so we'll need to change those. Typically, we'll make those adjustments with the live scene adjustment feature of Design Center when we're on site. But notice that this procedure, its parameters, such as ramp time, learn time, and the LED programming are all set the way I expect they'll be used in every task created by this instance of the library object will consistently be the same. As we repeat the procedure for the second scene, we encounter a message. Because we have the same function and same loads as the first scene, and it asks if we want to use that existing task. Our intent is to modify this task so that the scenes are distinct, so we answer no. The final button is a single button control of the blinds. The intended operation is for each press of the button to cycle through the sequence of raising, stopping, lowering, and stopping the blinds. Here we show a bit more power than we have previously because this programming isn't just a simple task created by use of a pre-built Design Center procedure. Let's open the Advanced folder in the library, and we'll find the task object that we're looking for here. This might be a good place to point out that we need to have the target object in the file before we use the library object to create a task instance to control that object. So we need a blind in the lit dining room. In this file, I have already created it, so we'll proceed. I select, drag and drop the object as before. It has some instructions, such as a reminder to set the travel time to match the blind travel time. Default programming has it at 30 seconds. I will enter the word dining into the optional programming label, and then I will advance to the next page of the wizard where I will select the dining blinds. If we open the newly created task, we will see that this is fairly complex, employing a variable, conditional programming, and the launching of dependent tasks. The variable and dependent tasks were embedded within the library object and created together with the task assigned to the button. The power in this is that the complex programming was implemented once, verified, and then we can use it over and over multiple times per project and in every project in which that programming has application. This concludes our introduction to the Infusion Design Center library. Follow-on sessions will provide instruction on how to create your own library objects and how to manage your library file.